Sua also. Okay, I just read the last message from the group, so I won't read it out because we're recording now, but it's lovely to be here and to be with all of you. And welcome to this Metta session. It's a great way to start the day, even if we might, like myself, I'm still feeling a little bit kind of not quite fully awake yet. A slow morning for me, I think, mentally. And it's really nice to start on the right footing with metta practice, inclining our mind in wholesome ways. And we had a lovely sutta class last night talking about patience and how patience can help overcome anger, and how impatience is related actually to aversion and anger. It makes us quite ugly and quite, unpleasant and displeasing to others. And we were thinking about the relationship between patience and metta, and how really patience kind of holds all the good qualities together, and how metta can really help with patience as well, because we're just much more resilient, much more resourced within ourselves, and able to meet life's irritations with a lot more capacity, a lot more kindness, gentleness, and acceptance as well. And yesterday in the group, somebody was sharing very inspiringly that they've been practicing metta every day for a few months now, and the difference it makes in their life and the happiness that they experience. And they were wondering if that's too much attachment to metta, because when they don't practice the metta, they feel the difference, just like when you don't have a meal, you feel hungry, you feel weak. Maybe you can skip one, but if you skip a few, you start to get tired and sickly and you don't have any sort of zest and vitality. So this is a great sign. It's not a bad sign, and it's not an addiction. We can never get too much metta, if it really is metta. The only danger with metta, if you like, it's the sort of near enemy, or is it let me think. There's this commentarial. So there's like the opposite of metta, which is the aversion, but also fear. Yeah, fear and anger, ill will are the sort of opposites. But the near enemy is a kind of attachment and craving. So that's when metta slips into over affection, let's say, and personal affection, because metta is supposed to be for all beings. And that's one of the reasons that we have these groups, and that in these groups we go through the various categories of being, so that we can actually see the slight subtle changes in the quality of the metta that we practice, depending on who we focus that on, depending on the object that we use to start to kindle the fire of loving kindness in our heart. So today we're on the third category of being. Recently we practiced with the loved person, ourself, first of all, ourself, and then the loved person, or the benefactor, a person who we find it easy to get along with and who we have a natural feeling of goodwill and loving kindness towards. So quite an easy person to bring to mind and to tap into those feelings of loving kindness. And today we're on to the person who we consider we have neutral feelings about. Yeah, somebody that we don't have like a very deep relationship or a very intimate relationship with, but we don't have any ill will towards them either. We maybe don't know them very well. It could be a neighbor these days, unfortunately, even the people who live next door, we often don't know. It could be someone at the checkout, or someone that you see walking down the street. It could be a colleague who works in a different department, who you just see around the place. I don't know, it could even be a cousin or a distant cousin who lives on the other side of the world. It could be anyone who you perhaps don't often think about, and yet who you see around from time to time. So it's probably an idea at this point to maybe think about someone who comes to mind. And again, you might already notice that they don't come to mind readily. Don't worry if you don't have completely neutral feelings about them. If it's like a slight warmth or a slight kind of nothingness, don't worry. You just kind of disregard them. You just maybe think they're a bit odd. That's okay. That's still the neutral person, because we're usually not entirely neutral about very much at all in life. The ego gets involved and makes judgments and evaluates things quite a lot. So just considering who you may wish to use for now, and then just dropping that for the moment. And we'll start off as usual by going through, starting with ourselves and with the love person, going through those two categories fairly quickly and spending a little bit more time with the person who we have fairly neutral or even feelings toward. So in the practice, see that you don't judge yourself. You don't have expectations about where it's going to lead or about how that metta should manifest, how that metta should feel. It's really just to see and understand the way we relate to the world, to others, and to life, and to learn a little more about ourselves. So it just helps us to gently open our heart to people or to situations that we may not otherwise practice with very much. So let's start by settling, finishing our tea. I think I'm behind with mine. So patiently giving ourselves time to feel refreshed. And to settle into a comfortable posture. The right posture for your body right now. And ask your body. Don't ask your mind. Sometimes it helps to close the eyes first of all and feel in to the sensations in the body. Sometimes we just slump ourselves down without too much attention to detail. So see how your weight is distributed, whether there's any pressure on any of your limbs, whether you're slumping, whether you're hunched. Give your body, give your shoulders, your back, your neck, maybe a little bit of space. You can just gently roll the shoulders, stretch the neck, even stretch up a little bit through the spine. And see that your knees, your ankles have as little pressure on them as possible and are not pressed against any other limbs or not squished against the chair. And just landing in the body with all its sensations that help you come into the here and now. Bringing you slowly out of the thinking world, the world of concepts and ideas, into the direct experience of reality in this moment. And if you wish, you can spread kind awareness through the body, as though bathing or basking in the golden rays of the sun. So wherever those rays travel through your body, they illuminate what's happening. And they also impart warmth and kindness, soothing, calming everything down. So allowing each and every part of the body, each and every cell to soak up this kind awareness. Relaxing tensions, tightness, any unnecessary holding that might be habitual. You might not even be aware that you have. Just inviting it to relax without force. Noticing any pleasure, pleasantness of relaxation. Maybe tingling when you meet certain parts of the body, or warmth, softness. See if you can tune in to anything that's pleasant or neutral. And allow that perception to deepen the sense of ease and well-being. If you suffer from chronic pain, sometimes only small parts of the body might feel free and easy, light. Maybe the fingers, the palms, maybe the top of the head. Just allow the mind to enjoy whatever, however much of a sense of ease you're able to connect to, without being demanding in nature, without looking for anything particularly special. Just somewhere you can rest. And greeting yourself with a smile from within as you connect to thoughts and feelings of loving kindness towards yourself. Perhaps imagining yourself happy, peaceful, contented in life. Perhaps even looking into your own eyes, as it were, as though you were a very dear friend to yourself. And if you wish, you can use phrases of loving kindness. Repeating these phrases inside yourself, just like offering yourself beautiful gifts, invitations for the heart to open and expand. So see what really resonates for you. For example, may I be happy. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be at peace. Connecting with your heart's most deeply felt wish for yourself, for your own well-being. And offering these phrases mindfully, sincerely, clearly. And pausing in the spaces between each phrase to the emotional resonance, allowing the heart to follow in the direction of your intention, allowing loving kindness to gently unfold with all the patience in the world. Just enjoying receiving your own good wishes without needing to be any different than you are. And staying connected to your body, especially to any pleasant or easeful feelings. Allow the perception of yourself to fade and bring to mind someone very dear to you. Perhaps a friend with whom you have a very easeful, uncomplicated relationship with. Perhaps a teacher, perhaps a child, or a pet. And imagine looking into this person's eyes or being in this person's presence, enjoying one another's company. If it's a pet, perhaps your little dog is wagging its tail, widening its eyes. Sensing this person's goodness. And adapting the phrases to wish this person really well. Imagining this person receiving your loving kindness and their face lighting up with a golden glow. As though the sunlight is pouring through every cell of their body, soothing, relaxing, putting them at ease. Finding your own rhythm with the phrases. If your mind is restless and is having trouble staying with your object, meditation, then perhaps the phrases will be closer together. Or as the mind calms and becomes quieter, you may need them less and less. Always staying connected with your body and with any emotional resonance that you experience in your body and mind. See if you can welcome any feelings that arise, whether very sweet, pleasant experiences, or even any resistance, any boredom that may enter the mind. While staying with patience and persistence, bringing up your object of loving kindness in your mind clearly, again and again, and trusting in the power of these intentions to open the heart in their own time. And now gently allowing this person to step to one side, bidding them farewell, thanking them for being your loved person today, and staying connected to your body, to your heart. Bring to mind the person toward whom you don't have strong feelings for, your neutral person for today. And continue wishing them well. Although their face may be more vague to you, still getting a sense of their presence, perhaps their appearance, and recognizing that they too wish to be happy and well. Imagining them smiling, feeling relaxed, perhaps in the company of friends or those who love them. Recognizing your shared humanity and wishing them well. And now gently thanking this person for coming into your practice, into your life, bidding them farewell with a smile. And allowing any feelings, thoughts of loving kindness that you've developed to start spilling out into this virtual Zoom room. As though the sun were spreading its rays and shining on each one of us, widening our hearts even further, taking in our combined goodness, all the beautiful qualities, the beautiful intentions that we share, and wishing all of us true happiness and peace. And as we share our metta toward everyone in this room, we realize that metta is spreading throughout the world, from Ohio to Ohio, across the oceans, all throughout Europe, to the various countries we live in, to France, to Norway, to Germany, and spreading even further to the great continents of Africa, of Asia, Australasia, even to the North and South poles, encompassing this whole globe with the golden light of loving kindness, soothing people's fears, people's hurt, bringing them safety and peace. Bringing to mind also all animals, all insects and birds, those that live on the ground, in the soil, in the trees, and in the sky. And all the creatures of the oceans, seas, rivers and lakes, all beings, small or large, human or non-human, far or near, and all invisible beings as well. Maybe beings trapped in the ghost realms, and also to all the devas, guardian deities, who enjoy listening to the Dhamma and who rejoice in the goodness that all of us perform. May all beings, whether suffering or content, whether virtuous or unvirtuous, may all beings be happy, free from suffering, physical and emotional suffering, free from the fires and poisons of anger, greed, and delusion. May all beings share our loving kindness and get a glimpse of their potential, be inspired to walk the path. May all beings come in contact with this beautiful, ennobling Dhamma of the Lord Buddha. May all beings' hearts be freed. Just imagining that for a moment, the kind of world we would live in, where all beings felt safe, all beings were provided for, free from harm, and all beings dwelled contented and at ease. And our metta is contributing to that. However humble it may be. So once again, coming back slowly into your body, into your heart, and acknowledging the goodness, the beauty, the love that you're cultivating there. Maybe it is just a seed or a small plant, but you know that the quality of this seed, of this plant, is very good and is bound to flower as you keep watering it and as the sunshine keeps shining upon the flower of metta in your heart. So staying inside, connected to yourself and your own goodness, with a smile of encouragement as I chant the final blessing. Sabbe sata, sabbe pana, sabbe bhuta, sabbe pugala, sabbe atapawa pariyapana. Sabaitio, Sabe Povisa, Sabe Aria, Sabe Anavia, Sabe Deva, Sabe Manusa, Sabe Vinipadika Awela Hontu Abhyapaja Hontu Anika Hontu Sukyatanam Pariharantu Dukkha Munjantu Yadalada Sampatito Mawe Gajantu Kamasaka Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Lovely. Very good. Thank you for your practice. I feel like continuing now, more silently, because yes, I have to teach. So, but also in your daily life, I know we have very mature meditators here, as well as people who are a little bit newer to the path. So, just adapt it in your own time. You know, you might want to do whole sessions dedicated to a particular individual or a particular category of being. I practiced once on a retreat where I focused pretty much exclusively with the love person for about 2 weeks. And yeah, I had a couple of love people. Like I had my main person, and then I had a supercharged person when I needed a boost. And that was my first teacher and preceptor from Myanmar. So I only used him as my object occasionally. I didn't want to exploit the metta that was so present and so immediate for me there, but it was a really wonderful retreat, and of course developed many wholesome qualities and almost like a protective force field that I could experience around me. It was very beautiful. So yeah, and in the day, of course, you can practice metta more generally to all beings, especially morning and evening before you go to bed. Even if you don't have like a long metta practice daily, like some of you do, at least 5 minutes when you wake up before you open your eyes or start to interact, and 5 minutes before you go to sleep. And this can be metta to yourself as well. I know people, for example, Bhante Sujato, who practices loving kindness to himself as his main vehicle, his main practice, his main path. So you're welcome to do that too. Because it all basically develops the same qualities in the heart and spreads to whoever you meet. You know, whether you're sending it or whether you're the recipient, you're still partaking in that field of loving kindness. Good. So I'm glad that some of you say you've enjoyed this, which is lovely. And yeah, I think Linda's comment really goes to the group because we're all sharing metta together. So it's stronger, you know, when we're together and when we're practicing in a group. So you can always bring the group to mind, or, you know, any of these experiences to mind when you practice on your own as well. Because sometimes we don't trust that we have enough metta within ourselves, but actually we do. It's just a matter of watering the little plant and giving it time. So, any questions? There's 5 minutes left. Please feel free to raise your virtual hand or write in the chat box, whatever you wish. So that's just saying, thank you for the guidance, for triggering the emotions that I wasn't expecting to come at all when I sat down. Good, good, yes. Practice is curious. We never quite know what's going to arise. We never quite know what emotions are in there that need to be felt and met. So whether they're so-called good or bad emotions, it really doesn't matter as long as we meet them. And I think the metta is a very skillful way to meet them. You know, they feel almost like they feel safe to come and say hello. And yeah, sometimes we can have strong loving kindness too, which we didn't expect. Yeah. Thank you for your lovely messages. Inspiring metta meditations, immerse yourself in beautiful nature. That's a message to me, but yeah, good advice for everyone. Immerse yourself in beautiful nature. That's also a way of gladdening the mind. Oh, Kate has a hand up. So
Kate
love to
has her hand up, so I'll ask her to unmute.
Thanks. When I try to think of one person that I feel love for, I feel like I feel guilty for missing other people out, and so I start to get a group of people and then I send the loving kindness to a group of people. Is that okay, or is it better to focus on one person?
Yeah, no, I think that's fine, especially for a session like this, which is just one session. It's really fine to work with a group or to work with a few people. It's fine because you're not trying to aim for very deep samadhi in a session like this. If you are practicing in more of a retreat situation where you're dedicating a week or some days to loving kindness, then it can be helpful just to choose one or two people, like I mentioned before, just to so that you can get a little bit of continuity and focus, and the mind can simplify. It doesn't really matter, as I say, who you're sending it to, because the point is not really the person at the end. The point is transforming your own heart. And these people we take are just vehicles in a sense. Maybe that sounds a little selfish, but it's not, because it's when we transform the roots of our heart, from aversion and irritation and, the kilesas, the defilements, to the pure qualities of loving kindness, the pure intentions of loving kindness, then that will really start to come out with all beings, and all those love people will get a mega blast of metta whenever you think of them. So yeah, don't worry too much about who it is that you're sending metta to, but it can also be helpful to try with a few people and then to settle with the one that's the easiest and purest in the beginning, just to get a feel for what metta really is. Because with some people, especially if they're too close, it can be a little bit too complicated. Like there's some people in my life that if I bring them up, I go into stories and memories, and yet there's other people with whom it's very simple. Like in the retreat that I mentioned, I chose the person who'd sponsored me to go to the retreat, and she wasn't a best friend, but it was so easy to feel feelings of loving kindness and gratitude. It was very much related to gratitude. And somehow I could just picture her smile and hold that in my mind, which helped. So yeah, there's really no wrong or right way, but it's good to experiment and to get to know your mind. And yeah, if you ever do a whole retreat of loving kindness, then maybe choose the person with whom it feels the purest and the most consistent. Yeah. Great. So Ellen says, it makes me happy to see all the faces on Zoom and practice together. Yes, it's nice because I guess if we're watching on a video or on YouTube, it's different when you watch it afterwards. It's more like you and the screen or you and the teacher, whereas this is a group dynamic. It's beautiful. Yeah. I love seeing all the arms raised up at the end. I know I'll have to say, like, pause at that point because not everyone opens their eyes. It's so nice when you open your eyes and everyone's like, it's really sweet. Yeah, it's really sweet. Happiness is contagious. So Karina says, Kate, I went through 3 neighboring households today as I felt like including them all. Yeah, let it be spontaneous. Sometimes people just pop in as well. And who knows why? Maybe they need to. Maybe, something in your intuitive wisdom sort of connects with the people or the places that need that loving kindness. Metta is mysterious. Thank you for the metta practice. It means a lot to me. Can I ask why you hold your hands above your head? It's just to generate lots of enthusiasm and it's not really traditional. It's more that normally we'd go sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And it was a bit like, really a bit insipid. And sometimes, that might seem more traditional to just be serious and whatever. But I actually think it's when it becomes a bit rote, it becomes a bit like a ritual, and we forget what it really means, and we forget the actual feeling behind it, because the word sadhu is like a rejoicing in what's been shared. It's like saying, well done, awesome, awesome, awesome is Ajahn Brahm's translation. And he always says, give everything you do, everything you've got. So this is why we do a big wee. And I don't know, it does seem to have an effect in our heart. If you try it out, it might feel a bit strange, you might feel a bit embarrassed at first, but there's a certain, it's something playful, isn't it? There's a certain freedom that comes with giving yourself permission to play and to just be a little bit lighthearted sometimes. And that gives others permission to do the same. So again, it's kind of contagious because I see you all doing it. So, but of course you don't have to either if it just feels too contrived, obviously, be true to yourself, but give things a go at the same time. Lovely. So it is now 10 o'clock. And time for me to immerse myself in beautiful nature, as John suggests. And hopefully it's a Saturday. Hopefully some of you also have some free time to at least get outside for a short part of the day. Rasa just raised her hand and I'm kind of tempted to come to her. I don't know, have you disappeared now? No, she might have disappeared. So that's okay. It was a mistake. Okay. So I will see you next on either on the retreat, and the retreat is being live streamed morning and evening, but only on Facebook. But we will be uploading the videos onto our YouTube channel. Almost, Paul is the person, Paul in the cozy house with the beautiful Amber dog. That dog is called Amber and she's very gorgeous, and we all know all about her life if we follow Facebook. Look at her, she's gorgeous, really. I can't wait to meet her, my goodness. Happy, happy dog. So yes, Paul will be uploading the videos within, a couple of days really of the teachings. And if it takes a bit longer, that's fine too, because sometimes you can't take it all in at once. But for those who wish to join us on Facebook Live, who are not registered for the retreat, then those sessions will be live streamed at 8:30 in the morning with Ajahn Brahm, and at 7:30 in the evening with me. And yes, he's also saying Karen is helping. She hasn't been to these sessions for a while, but Karen is behind the scenes doing lots of wonderful Dhamma service as well. So really a lot of gratitude to all the people that make this happen. And of course, Rennie and Derek and also Matthias will be the co-hosts for that retreat. And Matthias will also be helping you to he will be opening up this space for the silent meditation also between 5:15 and 6 p.m. every day. So for those who are joining us, wonderful. And for those who are not, I will see you. You can follow us. Otherwise, I will see you next Wednesday. So not this week. So this week's Wednesday session and Friday session are temporarily on hold while we commit to the retreat. Okay, so please come back the following week. Take care, and we'll